The chief, who ignored a missing person report, had actually ignored the disappearance of an FBI agent sent to investigate him. And the worst part? She had vanished the same night she discovered something about him she wasn't supposed to know. 2 weeks earlier, Agent Claire Monroe had arrived in Brookhaven under the alias Emily Carter, posing as a local journalist investigating a string of police-related cover-ups. Her assignment was clear. Find out why internal affairs files kept disappearing from the evidence room. File connected to wrongful shootings, drug seizures, and hush money payments. Her trail led straight to one man, Chief Ronald Hensley. But Hensley was careful. His reputation gleamed in public. 30 years on the force, multiple commendations, and a friendly smile for the cameras. What no one knew was that behind his office door, he ran the department like a private empire. Every officer owed him a favor. Every report crossed his desk first, and anyone who questioned him didn't last long. Claire had gotten close, too close. On October 11th, she met with an informant named Eddie Vega, a former officer turned whistleblower. That night, she sent a text to her FBI handler. "He's not who you think he is. Meeting was compromised. If I don't check in, start with him." She never checked in again. When her apartment was searched, her phone and laptop were gone. No fingerprints. No struggle. Just one strange thing. A torn piece of police tape stuck to her kitchen counter. Detectives suggested she'd simply fled town. But the timestamps on her security cameras told another story. At 2:43 a.m., someone in a police uniform entered her building. The cameras went dark 3 minutes later. By morning, a car was found abandoned near Quarry 10 miles outside town. Inside, her FBI badge, shattered. The news reached the FBI field office, who immediately contacted Chief Hensley for cooperation. He claimed she was never officially missing and that the feds were overreacting. But when they pressed him for her file, it was gone. Deleted. Every trace of her existence inside his jurisdiction. Erased. Meanwhile, whispers began to spread inside the department. Officers noticed that Hensley had become different, nervous, paranoid. He called late-night meetings, burned papers in his office fireplace, and ordered one officer, Detective Harold Trent, to destroy all body cam backups from October 11th. Trent refused. Quietly, he made a copy. What he found on the footage made his blood run cold. At 2:41 a.m., the night Claire vanished, a patrol car registered to the chief's office pulled into her street. The driver's face wasn't clear until the camera caught his reflection in a side mirror. It was Chief Hensley. 2 minutes later, he exited the building, alone, carrying something wrapped in a blanket. Detective Trent confronted him the next day, recording the entire conversation. "Trent, you were there that night." "Hensley, you don't know what you saw." "Trent, then tell me, where is she?" "Hensley, you don't want to find her, son. Trust me." Trent turned the footage over to the FBI, but before they could act, the evidence room was broken into. Again, the footage was gone. Trent's car was found burned that same night. By now, federal agents were circling. They began tracing Hensley's financial records and discovered unexplained deposits, over $400,000, from a private security firm linked to narcotic seizures. The deeper they dug, the more it pointed to something larger, a multi-state cover-up of evidence theft, extortion, and falsified reports. And Agent Claire Monroe had gotten too close to blowing it open. Then came the twist no one saw coming. A fisherman contacted authorities claiming to have found a burned ID badge near the quarry. But when they tested it, it wasn't Claire's. It belonged to Chief Hensley. At first, investigators assumed it was planted to throw them off. But when they raided his lake house, he was gone. His phone, uniform, and service weapon left behind. On the table was a single note written in his handwriting. "You were never supposed to find her." And beneath it, a flash drive. The drive contained only one file, a short, grainy video clip showing Claire alive. She was in a dim warehouse, handcuffed, bruised, but breathing. Her voice, weak but defiant. "If you're watching this, he knows everything. He's not working alone." The video ended with a noise, a door opening, and a man's voice saying, "I told you to stop recording." Then static. Investigators froze the frame and enhanced the final shot. The voice wasn't Hensley's. It belonged to someone higher, someone from the FBI, someone who'd been feeding him information the entire time. When the Bureau traced the video's metadata, it led to an unlisted storage unit 3 towns away. Inside, they found Claire's jacket and a blood-stained FBI folder, but not her body. And just as the investigation seemed to hit a dead end, a new report came in from a security camera outside a motel near the state line. It showed a woman matching Claire's description, limping, wearing a hoodie, checking into room 7 under a fake name. She looked straight at the camera before disappearing inside. The timestamp? 1 day after Chief Hensley vanished. The motel clerk said she only stayed 1 night. Paid in cash. Used the name Sarah James. But there was one detail he couldn't forget. She kept looking over her shoulder, like someone was watching. When investigators arrived the next morning, the room was spotless. No fingerprints, no hair, no trace she'd ever been there. Except for one thing. A message scratched into the underside of a nightstand. Is alive. Don't trust a badge. The FBI task force went silent. They had just lost one of their own to the shadows. And now she was warning them not to trust the people wearing the same uniform. For days, agents combed the town, but nothing made sense. The Chief's Lake house had been emptied out. The quarry was sealed off, and surveillance around federal buildings started glitching. As if someone was erasing the investigation in real time. Then something strange happened. Detective Harold Trent, now on protection, received an unmarked envelope at his temporary apartment. Inside was a small flash drive and a folded note written in Claire Monroe's handwriting. The note said, "You were right about the chief, but is not the one pulling strings. Play the video, then burn this." Trent played the file. It was another grainy recording. Same warehouse, same flickering light. But this time, there was someone else in the frame. A man in an FBI tactical jacket. Face hidden. Voice disguised. He said, "She's too deep. They'll connect us. Handle it quietly." Then a sound. Something metallic. Chains dragging across the floor. Claire's voice trembled. "You're supposed to protect me." "You shouldn't have looked into the money," the man replied. The clip ended abruptly. No date, no coordinates. But the metadata showed it had been recorded 2 days after the chief vanished. Which meant, if she was still alive then, someone inside the Bureau was helping cover it up. Trent took the evidence to a trusted federal contact off record. That night, his apartment was broken into. Nothing stolen. Just a single warning left on his mirror, written in dust. Stay out of it. Meanwhile, the FBI quietly reassigned half the case team. Agents were told to stand down for internal review. But one analyst, Laura Chen, didn't. She followed the money trail Claire had mentioned. Small recurring transfers from police fund to a shell company called Blue Ridge Logistics. When Laura decrypted the company's owner registry, one name appeared again and again. Director Alan Mercer, FBI Counter-Narcotics Division. The man who had signed Claire's original undercover clearance. Laura froze. It was him, the voice in the warehouse. She tried to print the report, but her access was instantly revoked. 2 minutes later, her computer crashed. The system wiped itself clean. That same evening, traffic cameras caught something unusual on Highway 16. A black SUV matching the chief's vehicle description, license plate partially burned, was spotted heading west toward the state border. Driver unknown, passenger unseen. But in one blurred frame, investigators noticed a passenger's hand press against the window. A woman's hand, with a familiar scar on her wrist. Claire Monroe. The car was found abandoned near an old sawmill 3 hours later. Doors open, engine still running, blood on the seat. But there was no body. Instead, on the dashboard, there was a sealed envelope with the FBI insignia. Inside, an old badge, Chief Hensley's badge, and underneath it, a handwritten message. "You're following the wrong man." Now the timeline was broken. If Hensley wasn't the one behind her disappearance, then who was she running from? And why had she worn "Don't Trust a Badge"? That's when Laura noticed something in the corner of the warehouse video. A reflection in a broken mirror. It showed another person holding a camera. Not the chief, not the man in the FBI jacket. Someone wearing a press badge. The reporter from the local paper, the one who'd been covering the missing person case, had vanished too, just a week later. When his car was recovered, there was a burnt camera inside. The SD card was destroyed, except for one fragment the tech team salvaged. It showed a single frame, Claire, alive, holding a small recording device. And behind her, a board filled with connected photos of the chief, the FBI director, and several city officials. In the middle of the board, one name circled in red ink, Project Sentinel. Nobody in law enforcement admitted knowing what it was. The files were sealed, classified at the highest level, but internal memos suggested Sentinel had been an operation designed to infiltrate local police departments and identify corrupt officers. Instead, it had been hijacked. From the inside, Claire had stumbled onto it, and the people running it had decided she knew too much. 2 weeks later, a small-town sheriff's office received a call at 3:12 a.m. A woman's voice whispered, "Tell Agent Chen to stop digging." Then a pause, and quietly, "He's watching you, too." The call traced to a burner phone dumped near the quarry, the same quarry where her badge was found. The next morning, the Bureau announced the investigation into Chief Hensley's corruption had been officially closed. Cause, insufficient evidence. But hours later, a secure FBI email was sent to Laura Chen from an encrypted address. Subject line: "The truth you're looking for is buried where I began." Attached: GPS coordinates leading to a remote cabin outside Brookhaven, Claire's original safe house. Inside, agents found walls lined with files, photos, and documents labeled Sentinel Internal Compromise. And one final note taped to the wall: "I'm still alive. You're still out there. When you find this, don't call the Bureau. Find the journalist. Here's the last tape." As Laura looked around the dark cabin, a faint light blinked in the corner, a motion sensor camera still recording. She approached it, pressed play, and froze. The first frame showed Claire Monroe staring into the lens, exhausted, eyes red from tears. "They'll make me disappear, but I'm leaving everything here. If you're watching this, it's already started." Then the sound of footsteps outside. A knock, a man's voice. "Open the door, Agent Monroe. It's me, Chief Hensley." And the screen cut to black. The video ended, but the silence after was louder than anything Laura had ever heard. Chief Hensley's voice, alive, calm, certain. It shattered everything the Bureau believed. If he wasn't dead, then he'd faked his own disappearance. But why? And what did Claire mean when she said, "It's already started"? Laura Chen drove straight to the coordinates return signal from the camera's transmitter. It led to an old communications bunker outside town, sealed since the 90s. But when she stepped inside, it wasn't empty. A generator was running. A laptop glowed faintly on a dusty table. On the screen, one file waited to be opened. The last tape, "Do Not Share." She hit play. Static. Then a voice. "Claire's. If you're hearing this, I'm either dead or worse. They're using the operation to clean house. Anyone who talks disappears." Her voice trembled, but she kept speaking. Project Sentinel wasn't about exposing corruption. It was about controlling it, creating leverage. They planted undercover agents in departments, but the agents were secretly monitored, blackmailed into silence if they uncovered the wrong truth. Then Claire turned the camera toward a corkboard filled with photos. Chief Hensley, Director Mercer, and another face Laura didn't recognize until the tag came into focus. Agent Lucas Vance, her own supervisor. Claire's voice cracked. Vance knew everything. He was feeding information to Mercer and the chief. They are not working alone. They are trying to erase the original Sentinel files. Suddenly, in the background, a metallic door slammed open. Claire gasped. "They found me." She dropped the camera. Boots thundered closer. A man shouted, "End of the line, Agent Monroe." Gunshots, then silence. The tape cut out. Laura backed away from the laptop, heart pounding. The last timestamp on the video was 3 days ago. Claire had still been alive. Before she could process it, her phone buzzed. An unknown number. "Unknown. You found the tape." "Laura, who is this?" Unknown. Don't go to the bureau. They're watching your car. Then the call ended. Within an hour, her secure drive was accessed remotely. The video file vanished. Her FBI credentials were revoked. Someone had wiped her identity from the system, just like they'd done to Claire. Laura realized she was the next target. She fled the safe house, taking only a printed copy of one of Claire's notes. They keep backups off-grid. Storage facility near Route 7. Locker 108. If they find it first, it's over. That night, under the cover of rain, Laura reached the facility. Rows of rusted lockers, each padlocked and numbered. She found 108. The lock was broken. Inside, a small steel case and a blood-stained bureau lanyard. She opened the case and froze. Inside was another flash drive labeled Final Transmission. Laura connected it to a burner laptop. Claire's face appeared again, this time pale, weak, whispering. He's been pretending. The chief is not running. He's protecting me. A deep breath. Then she continued. He found out Mercer wanted me dead after I uncovered Sentinel's real purpose. Hensley faked his death to keep me alive, but Mercer framed him to shut it all down. She coughed, blood on her lip. They're meeting soon, at the quarry. If you're watching this, you can still stop them. The video ended with coordinates and a date. Tomorrow. Laura barely had time to decide. She knew if she told anyone at the bureau, Mercer would know immediately, so she went alone. The quarry was empty at first, just the echo of dripping water and wind. Then she saw movement, a man stepping out of the shadows. Chief Hensley, alive. He looked older, exhausted, haunted. You shouldn't have come, he said quietly. Where's Claire? Laura demanded. Safe, for now. He tossed her a small encrypted drive. That's everything Mercer's done. But once you open it, they'll come for you too. Before Laura could reply, headlights flared across the quarry. SUVs, armed men, FBI agents, led by Director Mercer. End of the line, Hensley, Mercer shouted. Hand over the drive. The chief stepped in front of Laura. You'll have to kill me first. A shot rang out. Hensley fell. Laura dove for cover, bullets tearing through stone. When the gunfire stopped, Mercer was gone, and so was the drive. Hensley bled out in her arms. His last words, find Claire, finish what we started. Then silence. Hours later, a fire engulfed the quarry, destroying any trace of evidence. Officially, the case was ruled a shootout between rogue agents. No mention of Project Sentinel. No mention of Claire Monroe. But a week later, Laura received a package at her safe address. Inside, a phone. It buzzed once. A video opened automatically. Claire, alive. They think it's over. It's not. Mercer's gone underground. But I'm still here, and I'm not done yet. The feed cut out. The GPS tag in the file pointed to an unknown location, somewhere deep in the Appalachian woods. And beneath the coordinates, 3 words appeared on screen. Phase 2 begins. The message hit Laura Chen like a thunderbolt. Phase 2 begins. It wasn't a warning. It was a declaration. Somewhere out there, Claire Monroe was still alive, and the operation she died trying to expose was still running. Laura didn't go to the bureau. She knew better now. She drove toward the Appalachian coordinates Claire had sent, tracing rough forest roads until her signal vanished. The deeper she went, the quieter it got. No wind, no birds, just a faint hum of electricity. Then, through the trees, she saw lights. A concrete structure half buried in the mountain, disguised as an abandoned power substation. But the security cameras were new, and the fences electrified. She waited until nightfall, then cut the power grid from a maintenance line. The lights blinked out. She slipped inside. The corridor smelled of oil and damp earth. Old cables snaked along the walls, leading to a central chamber. Inside were dozens of sealed crates, all stamped with one word, Sentinel. And on the far wall, rows of computer monitors flickering with surveillance feeds from across the country. Police stations, courthouses, FBI offices. They were watching everything. Then Laura heard a voice behind her. I was wondering when you'd show up. She spun around. Director Alan Mercer. Gun drawn. Calm. Cold. You just couldn't leave it alone, he said. Project Sentinel was meant to protect this country, until Monroe made it personal. Protect. Laura shot back. You use it to control police departments, to blackmail them. Mercer smirked. Control is protection. Chaos is the alternative. He stepped closer. Claire didn't understand that, but she does now. Before Laura could react, a door hissed open behind Mercer. A figure stepped into the dim light. Claire, alive. Her face was bruised, eyes hollow but burning with fury. Mercer's hand tightened on his gun. Don't do this, Claire, he warned. You made your choice once. She raised her hand, revealing a small detonator. Yeah, she said softly, and I'm making it again. Laura froze. Claire, what are you? This place, Claire interrupted, voice trembling. It's where they built it all. Every bribe, every blackmail file, every name. If it stays standing, they win. Mercer lunged forward. Claire hit the switch. A blinding flash. Then a thunderous roar. The walls shook, concrete split apart, alarm screaming. Mercer was thrown back into the flames. Laura dove for cover, the world collapsing around her. When she came to, everything was smoke and fire. The entire facility was gone, buried under tons of rock and twisted steel. But Claire was gone too. No body, no trace, just her voice echoing from a still glowing recorder Laura found in the rubble. If anyone finds this, Sentinel is gone, but not erased. They'll rebuild it. Different name, same mission. Don't let them. Months passed. The Bureau declared Mercer's death an industrial accident. The chief's name was cleared posthumously, and Laura Chen quietly resigned, leaving without explanation. But she didn't stop digging. Late one night, she received an email from an encrypted source. No subject line, no text, just a single attachment labeled Phase 3. Inside was a video feed. Grainy, static. Then, Claire's face appeared. Alive. They're rebuilding. Different cities. Different people. You'll know when it starts again. Remember the name. Project Dominion. The feed cut out. Laura stared at the blank screen, realizing the truth. The explosion hadn't ended Sentinel. It had just evolved. Claire wasn't running anymore. She was leading something new. A silent war from the shadows, against the same system that tried to erase her. They buried the truth under rock and fire. But the truth doesn't stay buried for long. Somewhere out there, she's still fighting. And every lie built on power eventually comes crashing down. If you've made it this far, you already know this case is deeper than anyone ever expected. Claire isn't just missing. She's being hunted. The chief's secrets aren't just dangerous, they're explosive. And what happens next will change everything. Before we drop the next episode, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the truth is unraveling fast. And the people trying to hide it are getting desperate. Don't miss what they are trying so hard to cover up.